that anybody that misses this can catch it at a later time. Thank you for joining me and Lawrence this morning. I appreciate it. My name is Dante White. I am GHA's channel manager. I am joined by Lawrence, one of my sales engineers here at Ring Central. Lawrence, say good morning to everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Special shout out to the GHA family that's on the West Coast. It's super early for you guys, so if you're here from Cali, Arizona, Colorado, thank you so much. Everybody else, thank you as well. Today's presentation, I'm going to give you, we're going to go over harmony and abundance here in the channel in the UCAS environment. I'm going to have Lawrence not do a demo on the core set of the features, but focus in on some of the special intricacies of what we do: live reports, analytics, QoS reports, the single pane of glass using the Ring Central app and what you can do with that. If we want to do a demo later to show you a deep dive, we can do that. There's also a ton of material that's available on our YouTube channel. Alrighty, folks. So starting off is an example of what happens when you're in harmony. You can see the flag line, the trumpets, the drummers, the sideline, all coming together. Everybody has a piece here. Everybody does what they're doing in time, and together it not only creates beautiful music, but it also creates a beautiful picture. And that's the way that Ring Central goes to market with our channel partners. We're going to talk a little bit later about channel harmony and what that means for you as an agent, what that means for you, your customers, and how we're going to help you succeed, help them succeed. First things first, let's talk about typical business challenges. In today's modern workforce, customers want to connect in the way that they want to. Technology needs to talk to each other, whether you're using a CRM, some kind of cloud storage device, a UCAS, texting, webinars like this. There's too many applications in today's modern workforce, and it's hard for people to kind of wrap their heads around that. You can see app overload. Employees are struggling to cope with an abundance of tools. And according to Wall Street Journal, now workplaces are recognizing the risk of communications overload. Right? How many times have you tried to spin up something where you have to go to a go-to meeting, or you might be on a ShoreTel system and you want to talk to one of your offices that might be on a Cisco? Things can get very messy very fast. By 2020, over 90% of enterprise voice calls in the digital workplace will originate from a collaboration application, and that's up from less than 30% today. So it's a little bit later, Lawrence is going to show us the Ring Central app, going through GLIP and what that means to you. It makes it easier for you and your customers to be able to connect anywhere in the world by any device they need to, cutting down on the confusion of how they talk, where they get the information. Users know what they want. A single communication platform that unifies all your modes of communication is going to help productivity by 51%. Save time for your customers by 54% as well, and then create the feeling of control. So how does Ring Central do that? Well, we take our collaborative communications piece. You get the cloud PBX, unlimited calling, texting, faxing, all from the same platform. Team messaging, GLIP. I had everybody download GLIP. You still have time to do so if you haven't already. There's a free download for that as part of the platform as well. And video meetings like this, or doing an ad hoc Ring Central meeting as well. And then you add to the top of that contact center. Now I know GHA does a lot of things in the upper enterprise and major space, so contact center is a huge portion of that as well. We also just released a piece of our platform called Ring Central Engage. So get a chance to check that out. It's really cool. It's omni-channel social media environment that people like myself, the younger culture, and even the older culture is starting to use social media to contact businesses. So why Ring Central makes sense? We've taken everything that a business needs. The calling functionality, global office, we've got presence in over 90 countries. Analytics, being able to look at call flows, when things come out, who doesn't answer the phone, what's going to voicemail, that intuitiveness of it. taking your meetings, wrapping it into your phone, being able to text, being able to fax, minimizing the clutter, also minimizing the headache of managing contracts, and making it simple for everybody. And it's cheaper. So for customers, it always comes down to value. Communication simplicity, like I said, everything's all in one single pane of glass. You want your employees to be able to become efficient, to be able to answer a phone call, and it pops the CRM up, and they have all the customers' information. They can see last time when they called, what they called for. Being able to give that customer experience is key. Productivity, we've talked about that as well. Lower the total cost of ownership. So with a platform like RingCentral, with a UCaaS environment, you can set your watch to it. The cost is what the cost is. You won't see a variance and fluctuation when you add a new user and you have to see what the minute usage is going to be and the connectivity. So it really helps businesses out. I'm going to pause for some quick questions as we switch gears and have Lawrence show a couple of things, and then we'll dive into a couple more things. Thank you so much. Should be good to go, Lawrence.
All right. Share my screen. Hey, everyone. So as Dante mentioned, we have added a new feature to our platform. We used to have historical reports, and now we've added complete analytics. And with analytics, you have full-on performance reports, as you can see here on the left-hand side. I'll go down through many of these, and it's going to give you a lot of the key performance indicators that you're looking for. Really, if you look at it, the user performance in the context of all inbound and outbound calls for the call segment, right, for the department that that you're looking at and looking to get the metrics for, and that's what's relevant to each user. So basically, the user groups, the defined user groups that you're monitoring, and you were needing to determine, let's say, for example, you think you have enough folks on shift, but you're getting pretty much more calls than you would think going to voicemail, or number of calls that are actually being abandoned. Why is that? So you can really drill down here and kind of take a look and see. And here's your key performance indicators. And we've put a whole host of different, dozens really, of available key performance indicators for deeper understanding of that performance. This is a whole new modern interface. It's very, it's really extremely fast performance, and it's highly customizable. So you can pick which indicators that you want, and then based on the time frame that you're looking at, and it looks at each hour of the day, you can click on it and actually take a look and see how many calls that you've had on that particular date at that time, and really what's going on. And then you can kind of come down and drill down by queue and their extensions. You see how many inbound calls, how many answered, how many were abandoned. Well, why is that? And then you can actually drill down into that particular queue and look at each agent and see, their total call handle time. If that particular queue, let's say, over time you determine that nobody should really be on a call longer than about 10 minutes. Well, why are these two agents on there for 37 minutes? And, is it a training issue? Are they socializing too much? Things like that. So you can really take a look and drill down to what you're looking for. So you can look at internal calls as well as external. And then you could also use the filters here. Like I said, that's the queue level. You can drill down to the user level, and you can even break it down by the calls. And then you can see which calls were answered, which extension, and how long they were talking for, if a call was missed, and what calls even went to voicemail. So these are the performance reports within your organization. You take a look at the company numbers, and you can actually see which number received. Let's say you have folks that are sharing desks, hot desks. You can take a look at, even drill down by the actual number, and also how many calls were answered, what were missed, total call handle time. Now, within the organization, you could take a look at, for an administrator, this is great because you can take a look and see uh, overview where the calls were made. So it gives you geographic location, and whether you're using just not only a physical phone, but also the mobile application, soft phone. And you can actually see what phones are actually not online, and it'll bring up that report as well. Live reports. So let's go ahead and break down to live reports. Now, this is great when you're actually, I'm going to move it over to this screen over here. Just give me 1 second.
So while you're doing that, I just wanted to chime in real quick. So folks, the cool thing about the live reports portion of it and the reporting and analytics portion is you help your businesses that you work with become more analytical. As we mentioned earlier, a lot of the people in the workforce nowadays are across the nation, just like GHA. You guys are all out in the field in different states, different cities within those states. So having an owner be able to check in and see what everybody's doing, kind of when they're doing, making some moves and changes to optimize their business flow is cool for you as an agent because you get to help them be a true consultant to their business, right? It's not just a purchase, but it's an investment.
Right, and live reports is great. I mean, what we've done here is RingCentral does have an advanced contact center solution. That solution provides workforce optimization, workforce management, skills-based routing, proficiencies-based routing, progressive dialers, predictive dialers, data dips into CRMs, uh, you name it, right? Speech recognition. So a true advanced contact center solution. Live reports exist within our office solution, and this is great for customers that are looking for the metrics that are really going to help them drill down into the organization, but they don't really need the full contact center solution. So what we've done is we've added those key performance indicators that were most requested, enabled our customers to be able to have these certain dashboards. Now I've combined them onto one report. You can create multiple reports. Just create new dashboard, and then down here you would say go to new widget, and then you have SLAs. You can drill down by call volume, the agent count, the agent details, and I'll go into a little bit about each of these. Call queue monitor, queue calls, and queue details. So once you add the widget, then it's going to ask you to really kind of break down and get in and to tell it what you really want it to do, which particular call queue you want to monitor, or do you want to monitor all call queues? So you could have one report that just shows the agent count, and then you could even put this up onto a wall board and then have that go up onto a monitor up on the wall. So you could always push these out in any way, shape, or form. So if you look at these, now, as you can see here, this is the call queue. None of my agents are online right now, test account, right? So their hours don't coincide. So I can bring over this report over here that has a little bit of activity going on. This is the global help desk within the organization. And then here you can see that the SLA was set up to where they wanted all calls answered within 120 seconds. And their acceptable target is that they want to have it, as long as they meet 80%, then we're good. But if we're not, then at that point, we're below the target, and then you can really kind of drill down into what's going on there. So this will show, hey, you have 10 agents available. It'll show how many agents are talking and how many are unavailable. It could show that they're unavailable because they're on break. They're doing some post-call wrap-up time after they hang up the call and inputting some notes into the database, into, like, say, a CRM like Salesforce. So it'll show here on the queue monitor how many agents are available, how many are talking now, and then how many are unavailable. This is a very popular dashboard because it's going to show how many calls are actually coming in. You can have one for outbound as well. Here, how many went to voicemail and how many were abandoned. So this is a very important one. If, again, like I said earlier, if I have a bunch of agents that I think are enough to staff for this period of time during the day, but I'm getting an exorbitant amount of calls going to voicemail or abandoning, what's going on? So then at that point, I can drill down and see which queue that's being affected, and then go down to the actual agent. So as I showed here earlier, here's my queue details. Everybody should really be kind of on the phone for no longer than about 10 minutes. But let's say I have within this queue, it's going way over that average time. And then within that queue, these are all the agents within that queue. And let's say this agent is going on for about 37 minutes and this particular agent is going on for 25 minutes, way above average. So with our call monitoring, the supervisor can actually either go, or we could have call recording, so you can go back and look at the recordings, or they can actually do live monitoring and listen in on the calls, kind of see if they're socializing too much or they're just struggling to answer questions, and is it a training issue, what have you, and then try to get them to be up to speed to where they can then get back into the game and handle the right amount of call volume, so I'm not getting calls abandoning. So this really great metrics here. So live reports, great tool. When you get back now into the next report, meetings dashboard, this gets into all your RingCentral meetings. It shows all the meetings that took place within the organization, the participants, which users were utilizing it, and the usage by meetings, as you can see here, by date, by location, by device. Because as you know, RingCentral meetings also works not only on a computer, but it works on your mobile devices. By client, we also have RingCentral rooms, so where you have conference room systems, so you can see what locations are utilizing that. Okay. And then QoS reports. Now, QoS reports is really going to give you a lot of data in regards to the overall health of the organization, right? With the phone system, it's going to be able to give you a complete overview: how many calls internally, how many were outbound, how many were inbound, and it's going to show you the geolocation where those calls were made. Once again, we have mobile applications too, so it'll really kind of get into not just your physical desk phone, but also your soft phone that resides on your computer, the RingCentral phone, calls made through the unified client, right? Or also the mobile application. So it's going to show all the endpoints, and it's going to show also which ISPs were being utilized and whether the calls were made over Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and the mobile network. So that's the overall. You could break it
And I
down by
love,
extent. Go ahead.
just real quick, I love the QoS reports, folks. You know, for agents like yourself, it enables you to, once again, help your clients figure out what's going on. And if they need more bandwidth, you can actually see that, which locations are failing and for what reason they might be failing, and really help consult them on the flow and the way that things should be done. So that's, you know, why I had Lauren show this. Is not only it's an awesome feature that RingCentral has above competitors, but for you as agents and for your businesses, it really helps them make calculated choices on how they're going to support their business and the flow. Sorry for interrupting. I just really love QoS
No,
reports.
not a
They're
problem.
slick.
Well, our partners do and our customers do as well, because essentially it's really letting you know, especially if you're a managed service provider for your customers and they're calling up and saying, hey, I'm having some issues with my call quality, what's going on? If you have admin rights to their account, you can get in and take a look and see what's going on. And okay, so they had some calls here, what's going on, why are there some issues? So let's break it down actually by the calls themselves. And you can actually, let me go back 7 days, see if I actually had any poor quality calls. Looks like actually my overall health was pretty good. And it'll really just break it down by the call, where that call took place. And then you can actually see, well, wait a minute. Okay, that individual had a call that was over their mobile network, and it was on their cell phone, and they were just probably in a bad area, and that's what affected the call quality. Or if you really want to break it down, you can go down to the MOS score, and you can actually see how that affected. Obviously, if it's a higher MOS score, call quality is great. All the calls here have really good performance. If you want to break it down by it'll kind of break it down into something called jitter or latency, and it could affect the call quality. So you can really just kind of take a look, and it'll tell you if the call quality from the endpoint to our server was on Ring, good, or if the RingCentral server is too back to the endpoint was bad. What happened there? And then you can actually take a look. That's what I'm talking about here, and say, oh, okay, well, it looks like this was over CenturyLink, and it looks like there was an issue from on the ISP side. And then that helps you tell the client, well, hey, look, CenturyLink's having an issue here, so let's get a hold of CenturyLink. So this is just great. A lot of partners have loved this, especially the ones that are more of the MSP model, because it's really going to help them determine where the issue was and then help them drill that down. And also, like Dante was saying, it could be determined that they just don't have enough bandwidth for their organization. And if you're selling other products or services, maybe actually the issue was on their own network and their firewall. They don't have a robust router that is a QoS capable router, and you need to get them one, and you can sell them the hardware, or they need fiber. They're just using a T1, which is not enough bandwidth for their organization. And you try to tell them that, but now they can see that it's affecting their call quality. So now you can sell them some better bandwidth and sell them some fiber. So these are the types of reports that are really going to help an organization. The other thing that I really wanted to kind of drill down into, Dante, if we still have time, is actually our unified client.
Yeah, please,
GLIP.
It's awesome.
All right, great. So as you can see here, this is our unified client, and within the unified client, we have GLIP. And GLIP is our team messaging and team collaboration application. So if you really want to think about this, why are these applications becoming so popular? I'm sure you guys have heard of Microsoft Teams and Slack and HipChat, Cisco Spark, Amazon Chime. Google's gotten into the mix. There you go. Dante just said, hey, GHA family. This is real-time communication and collaboration. It's really, the way I look at it, is the evolution of email. Right? We've learned to live with the capabilities and really some of the restrictions that you have with email. Like, for example, we have no file size restriction. Within the center section here, this is like that instant messaging area, but it's also an area where I can share files. I can grab from my computer or any of these cloud storage locations. And from there, I can send any file size. Let's say I'm going to an offsite meeting and I forgot this particular document. It could be any size, it could be 20 gig, 50 gig. And I can reach out to Dante. Hey, Dante, can you shoot me that file for the meeting? And so he's going to get that, and then he'll be able to go in and he'll be able to share a file. You don't have to actually share anything right now, but let's say it was actually this particular deck, right? And then I can go out there and present.
I was just resharing the deck, actually, as you said that.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So at that point, I can download it, or I could just instantly open it up. And what's nice about this is, let's say, for example, I'm going to shut down PowerPoint. It's going to completely go away. I don't even have the application open. But if you look here, it instantaneously opens up whatever file. I don't even have to have the application because it natively opens it up. So you saw how quick that was. So that's really nice too. And actually within that file, you can do some really great things. Like I can sit there and say, you know what, I want to change the wording. So I'm going to create a task. You can do project management and task management right here within the file. So let's say change title to sexy wording, right? And I'm going to assign that to Dante. So it's going to pull up Dante within the organization. I'm going to project manage this, so I want to be on this myself. All right. I can put a start date, a due date. I can have him check in with him every day until it's done. We can color code it. When he marks it off, I'm going to leave it on there. When he marks it off that it's complete, it'll notify me, and then I can go ahead and check it out. Now, I need this done right away, so I'm going to create a critical section, right? And I'm going to say need done ASAP in order to move on. All right. And then I can even attach additional files if I wanted to. So I'm going to post that task. Now I could create additional tasks. We could be a whole group or a project or a team working on this. So I can create additional tasks within here. And by the way, Dante can click on this and we can have a conversation right here within the document if we wanted to. So if I close this, you're going to now see there's that critical section I just created on the shelf. And now Dante and I can talk about many other things, but if he actually clicks on this, he'll be able to talk to me here. We'll be able to create additional tasks, share additional files. And Dante, if you want to go ahead and mark that off complete, it'll show that it'll notify me. And then I can go in. Yep, there you go. And then I can go in and check it out. And then once I determine that it was done, I'll go ahead and mark this complete myself. Now, if I have a whole bunch of tasks going around the whole organization, how am I going to keep track of all those? So actually, I can go into my task section, and this is going to show all the tasks that I have assigned or that I'm working on or I'm project managing. And you'll see all these different sections that I have on here. It'll show me the color code. It'll show me the ones that are past due. So if I actually have a project that's kind of coming past due here, what's going on? And I can actually see the notes of anybody that typed in any notes and who didn't get it done. And I can say, oh, wait a minute. Wendell, he's the only one that didn't get it done. Now I'm the project manager. So I need to reach out to Wendell and find out what does he need from me to get this done. So this is really great. This far beyond the capabilities of what email can do and what an instant messaging tool can do. All right. So what else can you do here? I can also, let's say, for example, you guys as a partner reach out to Dante and say, hey, you know what, Dante? I have a customer that has 100 Cisco 7960 phones. Will those work with your organization or your platform? And Dante may not know. So what does he do? He reaches out to his SE. Now, this might be a model of phone that I'm not really quite sure about. So what I would typically have to do is go ahead and research. I'd have to find out, is it a SIP phone? What is it, end of life? Is it even supported by the manufacturer anymore? What's the firmware version? So, maybe 10, 15 minutes of my time. But maybe the question's already been asked and answered. So I can just type in 79. It's a whole series of phones. So I'll just type in 79XX. And no matter how far back, and it can be mentioned in any conversation within the organization. As you can see here, I'm part of a lot of different projects and groups and teams. Right, one of those in particular is called Ask an SE. that's a pretty large, almost the whole organization is in that one, and so it would probably have been asked and answered in there. So I can scroll down, as you can see, it's mentioned quite often. And then I can see, just read some of these notes and say, oh, okay, wait a minute. No to the Cisco 7960 phones or XX phones. So now I know. It only took me seconds to find that out, and I can shoot Dante that answer and get you that answer right away. So it's a very powerful tool in that respect because it saves a lot of time. You can create private groups. As you can see here, you can create public groups, and you can work on a lot of different projects and teams. But what's also really nice about that is that, let's say I go down here to the Ask an SE group, you have your audio conferencing feature, because we were successful very early on. We don't just sell a task management or collaboration application, right, or a team messaging application. We are a full UCaaS provider. So here, as you can see, real-time communication, you can see Chris Thacker's typing, but I can start an audio conference within everybody on this group or project or team, or I can launch Ring Central Meetings, right, our video conferencing solution. And it'll send the invite out here and say, hey, let's all jump in this meeting, share this content. We need to work on this project. And then the other thing that we've done is we incorporated our phone into the solution. So you can make and receive calls right here within Glip. I can change the outbound caller ID on the fly. I could have my main company number. I could have other locations, or I could just use one of my direct numbers. I could check my voicemails from here. I can check my faxes, my inbound, outbound faxes, and any on-demand call recordings. So if I'm out there on my mobile app and I didn't have pen and paper and I needed to jot down some information, well, you know what? I'll just hit my record button on the mobile app, get the information, and then hit record again. It's going to stop the recording. I can easily access it here for reference. So it's just a really terrific tool. The other thing that's really nice is just right there within the conversation, I can just reach out to Dante and say, hey, let's jump on a quick call. So I can call him right from there. So Dante, I think I'm probably running up on some time here. Do you want me to cover anything else within the Glip application?
Just keep your Glip up, because folks that downloaded Glip, I want the first person to send me a Glip is going to win a special prize. My email address is dante.white@ringcentral.com. So you can create a new message, and once you have me in the queue, I want you to send me the message GHA plus Ring Central equals Channel Harmony.
While they're doing that, what I'm going to also show is we also have our open APIs. And so we've opened up the APIs to Glip. And so Glip actually already integrates with email platforms, calendar clients, cloud storage, social media, issue trackers, ticketing agents, CRMs, and so much more. And also, if you've heard, Ring Central invests a lot of money into innovation, research, and development, and we're trying to stay cutting edge. So we are working with machine learning, AI, and bot technology. So we've already incorporated bot technology into Glip with Salesforce. So lots of things to come. We're always going to be adding and enhancing. But if you also have an application that is not out of the box already that you would like to have integrate with Glip, just talk to us. We have a developer team. We have ProServe, professional services. We could always work on building something for you. Or if you have your own developers, we have our developer portal. But that's going to be another topic in another webinar that Dante is going to do for you guys.
Yeah, I got a webinar coming up doing some integrations. I also have a webinar coming up with another master agency talking about combining SD-WAN and Ring Central and how to get clients to the cloud quicker and with ease. I also just popped up that message again, folks. I'm waiting for somebody to message me. Create a new message, dante.white@ringcentral.com. And the message is GHA plus Ring Central equals Channel Harmony. First person to clip me that wins a special prize.
All right, great. So one other thing while we're still waiting for that message to come through is you know, how many times have someone sent you a link to something and they send it through your email and you stick that in some electronic subfolder and then you forget while time goes by and you need it and you're like, who sent that to me and where did I put that, right? So this is also a really great repository of all the important links that everyone sent you. And you can actually see a whole list of them here. I could use the filters to search. You could see who sent it and when. So that's really great. I have all the links there. Speaking of links, Dante, check this out. So if you're actually posting a link, you know how some of those URLs are really long. Well, how about if we also have the ability to do some slash commands. So I can type in link, hit enter, and then I'm going to actually post that link here. So I just did the partner portal. So now I have the link to the partner portal, but instead of having, it could be a lot longer URL. You guys have all seen those. And I'm just actually going to call this the Ring Central Partner Portal and then post the link to Dante. And then there you go. So now he has that. I'm going to get rid of that there. And then that's all he's going to see on there. Instead of a long URL that's taking up space and it's kind of ugly, and it doesn't really even tell you what it is. All he has to do is just click on that and it'll take you right to the partner portal. Okay. You're also going to see all the documents, the links, the files. Now, if I wanted this to actually stay at the very top, I can pin it and then it's going to stay there forever until I unpin it. So that'll just stay right at the top for easy access. So a lot of really great things that you can do here. And still waiting. Is anybody still working on trying to send you a Glip there or a message?
Not yet. We'll go ahead and move on. It's still, the offer still stands. First person that does it because it's time stamped. I'll see who sent it first, but we'll go ahead and move on to the rest of my presentation just for the sake of time so we can answer any questions that pop up. So thanks for showing us all that, Lawrence. I'm going to pop over to my screen, so stop your share real quick and we'll get into it. Any questions so far, folks? People, I tried. All right, perfect. So I'm going to jump right into it. Now that we've talked about the industry.
Looks like you did have a question. Sorry, Dante, you had a question on what is the meeting ID to join Glip, he was asking. Looks like from Rob.
No meeting ID to join Glip. So you just download the application, and then to create a message, you'd hit the create new message, and from there you'd be able to type in someone's email address, and you'd message them directly.
Your Glip email address, Dante, would be Dante.white@ringcentral.glip.com.
All right.
I'll leave that. Uh, Dante.white@ringcentral.glip.com. Okay.
All right. Perfect. So now that we're waiting on that, let's talk a little bit about what deals are going to look like. So we talked about why customers are moving to the cloud, why customers want to use a solution like RingCentral. We talked and showed why there are some differentiating factors about it. But let's talk about really what does a deal look like. So in this particular example, it was a multi-state mortgage lender, and they wanted one PBX solution. Ooh, congratulations, Robert Harris.
There you
Second
go.
place, Alex. Yeah, we got. Good job, man. Good job. So I had to congratulate him real quick. Multi-state lending company, right? They had a Cisco here, they had an Avaya over there, they had LiveOps, they had WebEx, they had Microsoft Teams, a whole bunch of different solutions together, and they really wanted to standardize everything, get everybody on the same platform. So they used RingCentral Office to do so. It starts off with 6 locations, but there's 23 more, and we are a globally centered company. So we have presence in over 80 countries, and we're able to do that if they were a multinational corporation as well. For them, the outcome was better communication. For the MSP or the business partner in this example, they made 6 times more revenue growth and added more network as well. So we were showing the QoS reports, and you can see where there might be degradation coming, all those types of things. And for both, it was a win-win scenario. Example B is much the same. Restaurant franchise company. I do a lot of business in the restaurant and franchise area through a lot of my Southern California partners. Brinker Corporation is one of our largest clients. They've got thousands of seats across the U.S. They're also a multinational corporation as well. They own Chili's, they own On the Border, all those concepts. And able to connect all those locations seamlessly is critical, and have consistency, right? When a customer calls in, they know the call diagram, they're pushed through the ACD, it's things like that. Once again, the customer themselves enjoys better communication efficiencies. The partner is making 15% more on the deal by doing things for them like adding network, connecting their CRM, things of that nature. So let's talk about stacking revenue. Integrations, Lawrence alluded to that. I've got another webinar coming up later on this quarter with Theta Lake. If you're in the financial sector or anything that's highly regulated, go ahead and check that out because it's a really cool integration that we have, and we have tons of them. Developers.ringcentral.com is where you can find the list of our public integrations. I think we have over 130 nowadays, and there's thousands in the private sector of that too. So you're able to create your own integrations if you're a coder, or if you're not, we can help you out with that too. So integrations made easy. You're able to sell those technologies, right? GHA sells everything. So you can sell them a CRM, you can sell them Box, you can sell them Office 365, or if they have those, you're able to stack on top of that RingCentral and bring some harmony to their business model. Selling network, we talked a lot about that. SD-WAN is huge right now. So being able to see that they're having trouble with their connection, their latency, the jitter, being able to sell them either more network, sell them SD-WAN, sell them some kind of advanced routers, huge. And then also MSP services. Now I realize GHA doesn't have MSP services, or at least not to my knowledge. But if you have people in your community that you network with that can, it's another avenue as well to increase your bottom line and the help that you give to your customers themselves. Now, the experience overall, not everybody's sold RingCentral yet here in this group, so I want to kind of talk about channel harmony for a second. Oh no, my PowerPoint crashed. One second, folks. PowerPoint is always doing this. All right, we're back up and live. So channel harmony is an interesting way that we go to market, and a really great way that we're able to provide value for partners. I know not everybody is, well versed in UCaaS or telephone, VoIP. So what we do is, to minimize conflict and to increase potential, we pair every lead that you send to us with a direct sales rep. There's no conflict there because you get comped 100%, the rep gets comped 100%, and it's a win-win scenario. You're able to sell those other network or other projects that you're doing, so you increase the efficiency of helping your customers get where they want to. And the beautiful thing about it is, we minimize the conflict and we increase the close ratio for everybody. It's like being a family physician. You're a doctor, you're very good at what you do, you can diagnose certain things, but when it gets out of your scope, you have to send somebody to a specialist. And then you work in tandem, you work in harmony to find the solution to help your patients out. That's how channel harmony works, right? And using a different type of thing. Now, once somebody's a customer, it continues. They get an account manager as well. Those account managers are there to help grow that business. So in one of those examples, there was 23 locations, but they started off with 6. So the initial sell was those 6 locations, but we're going to capture the rest of those businesses. They're eventually going to start expanding. And with our account managers, or signature account managers as we call them, their job is to help grow the revenue for you. You still stay 100% whole on that as well. To understand the process flow, it's pretty simple. You register the lead. Partners.ringcentral.com is the URL that you're going to go to. Your email address is your login. And then if you forgot your password or you didn't get your password, just click forget password and get right in there. Once you register the lead, it's going to engage me, and then I'm going to assemble the team for you. I'm going to get someone like Lauren, so I'm going to get a subject matter expert that's going to help. We're segmented by geographic region, by company size, and also by verticals. So I'm going to make sure that I pick the right person to help you out. And the partners that embrace the process, the sales cycles are shorter. You get increased revenue, and it just makes everything much, much more simple. So as we wrap up, folks, I want to talk a little bit about the promos and what's going on, as my PowerPoint crashes yet again. All right. UCAS rules everything around me. So let's talk a little bit about the type of money that you can make on top of that this quarter. We're offering a 3x spiff to anything that closes this quarter. So you'll make 3 times more up front than you would normally, plus the already included residuals on any sale. So some really good money up for grabs. And like I said, if you use Channel Harmony, it makes things easier, simpler, and the deals close faster. And then we also have a bounty. I want one of my partners to get this $1 million payout. It's a very real deal too. 25,000 users is absolutely achievable. We just closed a large sale, Columbia University, Lawrence. What was that, like 14,000 seats? Something like that?
Yeah, it was 14,000 plus seats for that particular opportunity. Absolutely.
Yeah, there was
plus
like
contact
250. Yeah, it had like contact center as well. So the deal was huge, right? And enterprises are using it. It's just not SMB anymore. So I'm going to kind of throw that gauntlet out to the GHA family, because I think that the deals that I have worked with you folks, they have been large in scope, and I absolutely believe that it can come from us over here. So as we wrap it up, once again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. My contact information is there, dante.white@ringcentral.com. Telephone number included too. And now anybody that's downloaded Glip, you can get me there as well. It's really easy. I've got the mobile app. I'm always on the fly. So it's easy for me to get the answers you need. Lauren showed you my little trade secret there of being able to hit up my engineers for the answers. I'm really not as smart as everyone might think that I am. I've got a really good team behind me, and I kind of cheat a little bit and ask the question to them and zip it right over to you. So I want to make sure everybody's set up for success. I'm going to stay out here on the line a little bit and answer some questions. But thank you again, everybody, for your time. I appreciate it. Robert Harris asks, is Glip encrypted?
So that's really kind of an interesting question. Glip has passed all the compliance requirements. So essentially, I'll just give you an example. We have many healthcare customers in the healthcare vertical, and so we now have doctors that are able to send private healthcare information utilizing the GLIP application, so they can doctors can consult other doctors, or doctors have. I spoke to a customer where they invite their patients who are immobile, who can't make it to their office, into GLIP, and then they're able to pull up an X-ray and then use our annotate tools within Ring Central Meetings and mark up the X-ray and show them where their area of concern was, and they're not violating HIPAA. So it's that secure. We've taken all the measures within GLIP to make it that secure that it's not violating any HIPAA guidelines or even high trust or FINRA compliance. So I'll leave it at that as far as for security and for the ability to able to send information as you know, that has to meet those, especially high trust, which is even a higher level within the HIPAA guidelines.
Mm-hmm. And the regular Ring Central UCAS solution is encrypted, both in transit and in REST too. So
Correct.
just so you're aware, very high security of what we have. We do tons of business in the financial sector and the medical sector as well. So, as well as government. So definitely security is key on that. Gonna hang tight for just a little bit, see if we have any more questions come up. But that was a great one. Thanks for that, Robert. Also, congratulations again on winning the special prize. I'll message you post this, and we'll connect, and I'll let you know. Alrighty, folks. I will give you some time back. Looks like we don't have any more questions. Thank you again so much. If you do have anything that pops up after this, send me an email, give me a call, shoot me a glip, and I'll get that answered for you. Everybody have a great day, and thank you so much again. Bye.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining.